Hello?
Oh, okay.
Okay, Rebel, you there? Rebel, you there? Rebel, can you hear me? In the chat, can you hear me? Rebel, can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you. I
In the
can't.
chat, can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Rebel, can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
No,
I can't hear you.
Okay, I can hear.
can't hear you.
No, I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Can you hear me? No, I can't hear you. You can't hear me now? Okay. Can you hear me? No, I can't.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me? You can hear me? Okay. All right. Okay. But I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Okay. Go ahead. Talk.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah.
You can hear me.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Cool. I can hear you fine.
All right. Okay. Okay. All
Sorry
right.
about that, audience. Just a little technical difficulty. So where did I leave off? Where did I leave off?
I didn't hear anything. I'm just hearing you now.
Okay. So did you hear about when I was talking about the aronia berry?
Yeah. We discussed that. Yeah.
Okay. So this is what I'm saying. People take stuff from here, from America, which is these are plants that your parents, your grandparents, your great parents, they left for you. But now they're shipped over to Poland, and those people are using stuff from your homeland, which most people who call themselves African Americans, they don't even think this is theirs. And this is one of the ways that we're being taken advantage of. And there's no one to blame but us. So I just wanted to add that, put that in front of your face before Rebel talks about what she's going to talk about, because that's very important. This is how our natural resources, we give them away. And so we have no time fussing and fighting, arguing, bullshitting, lying with each other. Those of you who are going to do that, you guys keep going ahead and do that. Keep doing that. Other people who realize that, nah, man, other people just marching in on our land like this, taking our shit, that shit got to stop. Those of you who think like that, you're in the right place. Rebel, how you doing?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
Are you a part of that picture?
I'm not a part now.
Okay, cool. Well, listen, you know, you and I spoke earlier in the week about these words that are thrown around and what we use and what we think they are. And when we talk to other people, how you use word and it kind of kills the conversation. So, you know, we agreed to come up with, pull out some of those words and show and really go into what they mean. And when we use them against when we use them against ourselves, what do they mean to us?
Yeah.
So love, the floor is yours.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to just start off and we have to start off. I know we're talking about words, but we have to, it was a man, he was detrimental to the indigenous community, and his name is Walter Plecker. Walter Plecker was born in 1861. He died in 1947, but he knew that he wouldn't see what he see today in 2021, where we basically, he knew it was coming. He set the foundation, but it's like now we see the outcome of what he did in 1924 when he came out with the Racial Integrity Act. And what that was to put you in a box and take away, it was basically to take away your benefits and to take you away from the land. So the only thing you can do is call yourself colored. I'm copper tone. The only thing that my ancestors could do is call themselves colored, because if they tried to go by their tribal name, they could be arrested for over a year. And he took when it came to the midwives, what he did is he watched them. He watched them and watched everything they did, because he had to make sure that they didn't put Choctaw, they didn't put Chickasaw, they didn't put Iroquois. He had to watch them. So what he planned to do to take the land, it can go as planned, and it went as planned. And he called us colored. And I guess, I don't know what was wrong with our ancestors. I don't know what happened to the point that they allowed this man to do this. And it's like, you see my shirt, I have a lot of colors on it. And this, what we called ourselves, just colors. We was just a color. And we allowed this man to do this to us. And, you know, now he's gone, but we see the effect of it. We're in boxes. Our legacy is gone. Our benefits is gone. Our heritage is gone. And now people like me, people like Lisa, people like we're trying to put the puzzles together to see, trying to put the information out there because we know it's very detrimental to our community. And after they like words they use like the word black. If you take the B off, that's just lack. And it makes us less than. If you look at black in the Webster dictionary, it means wicked. It means darkness. It means despair. It means discredited. And these are the names they give us. And we say it like when we say we're black and we're proud. When James Brown came out with that, we didn't understand the detriment that did because it took away your nationality. And black, it is dead in the eye of the law. That's why when you go and you fill out an application and they ask you whether you black or you African American, they do that because they want to see how conscious are you. They want to see if you know the truth. And a lot of us don't know the truth. And and through our ignorance, we call ourselves black and don't know that means pale. It means bleached. And we have no problem calling ourselves that.
Can I ask you a question? And
Yes.
I want to see what you're thinking and what the audience is thinking too when you think of this. So remember when we were little, we were given all these fairy tales, Goldilocks and Little Red Riding Hood and blah, blah, blah. The character that was always black, always the villain, they were always played in that black connotation, Did you ever pick that up, or do you see how that's permeated throughout the culture? All the monsters are black. Everything is ugly and black. It has that connotation to it. Do you see that?
Because I didn't understand what I understand today. I see it today, but when I was a young girl, I did not understand it. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Because I know like Charlie Brown, the dirty kid that always had the dirt around him. He was melanated.
Right.
But I never put two and two together because, I was so young.
Right.
But now, yes, I get it now. But back then, no, I didn't. But I have noticed that, yes.
So what about, so when you have people who are trained like this, and this is in a whole bunch of stories, if you go back and read all those stories, the adversaries, the one who's going against the little white children is always black. Do you see how we grow up with that? And we never, there's people that go to their grave that's 90 years old that still thinks that way. That how we don't take and figure stuff out for ourselves and think about things that are given to us. Is that what it seems like is happening? Because these are stories that are given to us as the children, and we still grow up with them when we're way past adulthood.
Because what they do is, this is why they came up with the educational system. It's not to make you intelligent at all. It's to make you dumb. It's to make you, even a lot of words that we use today, it came from the educational system. And it's they dumb you down. You think you're intelligent because you can go get a little education. And not all of us, but some of us can get a job paying us $30 and $40 an hour. And we try to match our pay with our intelligence. And what they do is they use the educational system to dumb us down and to make us think that we're something because we have money. So that's what the educational system is for. That's why they can't. It's almost like they turn you. We are adults. Us melanated people in America, we are adults. But 90% of the melanated people in America, we act like children. If you really watch them, it's nothing on their mind. That's why a lot of us that is conscious, most of us be by ourselves. We may deal with one or two people, but we be by ourselves because we can't relate anymore. We can't relate to these people. They're not our people.
So black is a word that we use. And like you say, BLAC, BLAC,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a word. That's how it can be used. Not anybody communicating to you, but other groups of people communicating amongst themselves. That's how they can be using it too, because we don't define ourselves. We're fine and comfortable with other people doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's are some of these other terms besides Black?
Okay.
Because I'm sure
That's just,
everybody's with Black now.
yeah, that's just like African American. A lot of people don't understand, even with that word. America, that's a corporation. That's the United States of America. That's the corporation. This was once called Turtle Island, but now it's the United States of America. Before it was called United States of America, it was called United Colonists, if I'm not mistaken. United Colonists. And then they turned it into the United States of America. And that's why we are controlled, because the United States of America, the corporation, what it did is it put everything, all of what it is on top of your ancestors' land. Even like there's a guy, I was going to talk about it on my platform. His name is Reverend Isaac Simmons, and he lived in Mississippi. And what had happened with him, he owned 270 acres of land. And what they did is they murdered this man for that land. And a lot of our ancestors, they're right up under this soil, because they built on the United States corporation built on our people, our ancestors' land. And a lot of us, as long as we have a nice car, as long as we have a cheap house, because most of these houses built nowadays, they're very cheap. And as long as we have that and we have a little money to go out and do things, we're fine with whatever happens. This is why what I'm doing and what you're doing and other people is doing, people gravitating to it, but not like they should. And the reason why is because, I have a house and I have a car, but you in the city, you can't farm. If anything happened, if these stores get closed down, then what are you going to do? And we don't look at it on that level, because a lot of us, we lack common sense. Common sense can tell you that's just like if it's fall, if it's spring, and if it's summer. We know summer is coming because it begins to get warm. We know winter is coming because it begins to get cold and you see the leaves falling. But it's some people, they see all of this stuff, but they don't care.
That's as simple as you can put it.
Yeah.
That's as simple as, damn. Because there's people that don't even look up at the moon to see the phases of the moon.
Yeah.
I've spoken to people, they don't look at like you say, they don't care. So, I'm past that, this ain't for those people. And like I say, if you can't see what's going on in America today and what's happening to you, what can we say?
Yeah.
What can we say? If you want to keep believing that it's cool to celebrate New Year in winter, brother, knock yourself out. We're so disconnected, and we're not even trying to connect ourselves. Don't care. Nigga, I'm going to give me a drink. That's where the African American is. So are there any others?
And like African, that's another one. And African, a lot of us, we like Pan-Africans, it's like they make it seem as though they're so close with Africans and they got a bond with Africans, but you never see any Africans around them. When Africans come here, they don't go by African, but they go by, if they from Cameroon, they go for, if you ask them where they from, they're not going to say Africa. They're going to say Cameroon. They're going to say Nigeria. They're going to say Senegal. They're going to say Somalia. They will never say African, because they don't go by that. But we, on the other hand, because we don't study and we don't look up things, we call ourselves an African American, which it's not even African American is not even it's not a nationality. It's just something that I know they claim Jesse Jackson came out with it in 1988, but it's something that how can you call yourself an African and an American? And you're neither. We all had tribes that we came from. Like where I'm from in Clarksdale, the people was Choctaw and Chickasaw. We all had tribes where we came from. And a lot of us, we went by Cherokee because at first I thought every Indian was a Cherokee and didn't know that we had tribes. Some of us even spoke different languages. And our heritage of who we are, we had a very rich heritage. It was taken away from us. And I look back on I think that was in 2005 in New Orleans when they blew up them levees. Those people were still practicing their heritage. And even right now, November 6, 2021, they're still trying to dismantle us because they haven't been able to get us off this land. But they still want to get us off this land because America is very rich in soil. If you look outside of your house, I don't care where you live in at, it could be in the city and you're going to see green pasture growing. You're going to see it. You're going to see birds flying. You're going to see squirrels flying. Squirrels, running around. You see all kind of animals running around. You could plant something in the ground and it's going to grow. America is very rich. This is why they want us off the land. This is why every group come here and their main target is us. Everything is surrounded around us. It's not surrounded around nobody but us. And they look at us as though we are the foreigners of this land. This is why they come up with the words black. This is why they come up with the words minority. It's nothing minor about you. And you notice we act like children. Most of us, because we don't want to learn. As far as we go to college, we get a degree, and we think because we have that degree that we're on another level, but you're not. You're not, because the degree does not give you wisdom. It don't give you knowledge. You have to study knowledge. You have to want that. When you get a degree, you're copying. When I became a nurse, I'm copying what they're telling me to do. They write it on the board and I copy it. That's just what it is. It's memorization. It have nothing to do with wisdom. It have nothing to do with knowledge.
So what are some of the ideologies that you see, in your position, not just as a medical professional, but as you just see, milling around every day in these cities? What do you see that we fall to more often than not?
We fall. Are you talking about like what do we gravitate to?
Yeah, what I mean, seriously. And when I say indigenous people, I want to get this straight, for everybody and listen, audience. Basically, basically African Americans ain't Africans. It's basically the people whose parents are not from somewhere else. However you want to put yourself in that position, whatever. This is for people who are parents are from somewhere else. This is not for you. Because we're not talking about people who were born and their mothers were from somewhere else. Their mothers were from Jamaica. Because if I went to Jamaica and started to tell those people about themselves, they'd slap the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But here in America, we do anything. And that's how and that's why we were talking about earlier, why do people get mad all the time? Why are we always angry? We're angry because we don't know shit. I mean, you can ask full-fledged professors. They are idiots because they have never once stopped to think about anything. And that's the people who call themselves African Americans. One of the things that you can damn near count on, they never think about nothing. They just do what they're told. Right?
Yeah.
So now why are you pissed off at me? Because I'm telling you a truth. And because you act like that, it confuses everybody around you. It confuses everybody around you. You don't think when the Nation of Islam started, them cats wasn't confused? History shows that they were confused. And the only way you're not going to be confused is to get with your family, get with your people that's from here. This is your home, and you just act like I ain't got nothing to do with it. While other peoples are coming over claiming what was left to you. Do you see how we look? You see how we look and think we doing something. And all you're doing, and this is probably 90% of the African Americans, the only thing you do is make other nations money. That's basically what the definition of African American is. Your job is to make money for other nations, right or wrong.
That's true. Mhm.
So yeah, so I'm noticing, these words that we use. One of the words I noticed that we keep getting tripped up on, and it's past that time, y'all. Damn, you got to know what these words mean. One of the words, rebel, is, that I see that we always get tripped up on is the word Native American.
Yeah.
We call ourselves Native Americans. All you have to do is ask yourself a question. Is that Washington Redskin helmet? Is that a Native American?
Mhm.
See, all these words are used to trick you, to make sure that you remain dumb. That's it. That's it. It's kind of hard to take a bastard language and try to make right of it. 9 times out of 10, it won't work because the language is so confusing. And that's what you're using with this English language. So I hope tonight that we're making sense and you can understand what we're saying. But the term Native American, that doesn't apply to you at all. What does Native mean? What do these words mean? We don't even check out what they mean. We just use them in any kind of way. And in doing that, we set off confusion. A native, Bible scene, since most of us were brought up in the church, the nativity is Jesus being born in Bethlehem. Jesus wasn't indigenous to Bethlehem. He was indigenous to Nazarene or Nazareth or whatever you call it. So you see how we always get twisted up with these words? We use words that don't mean nothing. What's your take on that, Rebel?
Yeah, that's true. And it's like with me, that's just like Aboriginal. When I looked up the word, it mean like insensitive. It said insensitive, like the person insists do not really care. But we call ourselves Aboriginal. And it's like what they have done, even just like words in general, like parent. This is why we don't look up these words. This is why CPS is able to come in our house, tell us that they're going to take our child that we gave birth to. They ain't done nothing for this child. But you look at pair and then rent. So you're renting your own child out. You have to look at the words, and as soon as CPS come in your house, they're going to ask you, are you the parent? So this is why, and then they come and then they have a police officer with them. That's the indirect threat right there. That's why he keep his hand on the gun. Because if you don't comply, then we'll go ahead and kill you and we'll still take your child and you'll go to jail. And we don't look at the words we use. We don't look at how detached we is from the land. They have all power over us because we're very detached from the land. And that's just like when you talk about police officers and you see that 5-star, they part of the Masonic. They're not here to ever protect you. They're here to protect the merchandise, the property, but you're nothing. The United States of America, they set up this corporation to hurt us, never to help us. And you call yourself a parent. They didn't help you push out that child. They didn't help you do none of that. You have to push that child out, but they can come and take your child. They got laws where they can come and just take your child. And you're renting your child. It's like they are the owner of your child. And we don't look at the words that we're using. You know, it's just we're in a predicament where we don't have we're powerless, a lot of us. And we're happy being that. We don't fight. We don't fight to get out of this bond we in, because we're in bondage. We don't fight to get out of it. None of us.
So what do you think about us not, because I know a lot of us know these things, but a lot of us still act in that behavior. You still hear people, we're Native Americans. We're not. It's taken us a long time for this stuff to pass down to our children. I was just talking to a 15-year-old young man tonight. He's up on it. So somebody around him been given the information. But how do you think how do you think all this is being disseminated amongst us?
You know what? I feel that that's just like me. If you sincere about getting, if you sincere about you being indigenous, then you will gravitate to that. If some people, they're not sincere about it, they really don't care about it, so they don't care what happens. That's the only way you can look at it. Is some of us, we sincere, and you can see it in our walk. And some people, you don't see it in their walk, but some people you do see it. And it's a lot of people, to be honest, Carrie, it's just a lot of melanated people. We're a lot of us is not no good. And you have to say, I hate saying that, but it's like when I first started out, I thought everybody because this is serious to me. So I'm thinking everybody is about that life. But when I got into this, and I fell back for about 4 or 5 months, I really didn't want to make no videos. I didn't want to mess with nobody because I seen the fakeness. I seen how people wasn't real. They played like they was real, but they really wasn't real. And, when you deal with people, you got to deal with them as an individual, because everybody is not about this life. And this is at this point where we at right now is so serious, because they're doing any and everything to dismantle us, because they know that a lot of us have become conscious and we know the truth. And once you know the truth, the energy change, the vibration changes. And they understand. Caucasians understand this. Melanated people don't understand this. But they understand it.
I was talking to a brother and asked him, so what was this like in the 60s? You guys were saying you guys were making a lot of headways in the 50s and the 60s. And I'm like, well, what kind of headway did you make? Could you explain what was done, what was positive for us, that we could fall back on as use as evidence that we can do things today? And the brother was honest. He said he's been here since the 50s, and everything he's seen Negroes do, it's been a failure. Everything. He said, I lived through the civil rights movement. I lived through the Black Power. He said that shit was a failure. It didn't make sense then when it was going on. But it's like, that's something that's always put in our eyes. That's something that's always told. This is your history. These people were great, blah, blah, blah. And when you look at all those movements and everything that they did, none of that shit worked. And so I get into it with people who are like in their 70s and 80s. They're convinced that the civil rights movement was a good thing for us. And I just simply ask them to explain how. And they can't. They can't. In no way or form. Because when you ask them to, well, just explain it. And it's like what you said. Why do people get mad? Why do people get mad? Because they're telling you some bullshit and you realize that it is some bullshit. It doesn't work. It's used to help other people. us joining, us integrating with them only helped them. It didn't help us. And those are some things I think we really have to pay attention to. Now, a lot of people say, well, I got me a job. Yeah, but I just read you about the Aronia plant, all the food that was produced here, all the food from here that is produced here that go to other countries that they sell it back to you. You think that's just the Aronia berry?
Mm-hmm.
How come we not running cotton like we used to? How come that isn't our industry? Because we don't care. How come we're not making automobiles? How come we're not making refrigerators at these so-called black colleges? How come we're not making lawnmowers, coming up with new stuff? As a nation of people who is dogged out by damn near everybody, how come we're not doing that? We would rather keep going down the road we're going now into showing your children that you can do something for yourself. You're worthy, like other nations build themselves up. You do the same thing. We don't even want to talk about it. Is it because of the words we use? How we speak? How we think? Because how you speak definitely shows how you think. And all we want to do is argue and fuss and fight and bicker. Never intelligent, interesting. Yeah, we have those a lot. We do. But if you're looking at what's going on in America today, and the so-called African American, black, Negro, colored, all those people, what's happening to them? Seriously, what's happening to them? What do you see happening to them, Rebel?
I think those are the ones that's lining up to get a COVID shot. Those are, it's like that's just like, for instance, it's a lady on my job, and I was trying to explain to her, because me and her, we started talking, and I was trying to explain to her that most of us, we didn't come from Africa. And the first thing she said, no, my grandmother came from Africa, because she went to, I think, Smithsonian, and she got the information. Some people, you just can't tell them,
Right.
it's like they don't want to hear that. And I think it's because they don't want to fight for anything. A lot of us don't. Now we'll beat the hell out of each other, but to fight to get what's yours back, a lot of us don't have it in us.
So is it safe to say that we were trained that way?
Yeah, we were trained that way, because even before I even knew the truth, when somebody would come to me, like the black word, what I just said, this guy told me, I don't know, I forgot what he was, but he was trying to let me know. And he came to me and he told me, he said, never call yourself black. This was back in the day. He said, never call yourself black, because that's saying that you're bleached out. And I got mad at him. I was a Christian and never talked to him again. It's like, when you talk to somebody and they're not conscious, they're going to give you that glossy stare. When they give you that glossy stare, they just shut down. It's nothing else you can say to them. And that when you see that stare, because it's almost like they look like a roll. Their eyes is fixed. And it's not going to move from that. Once you see that, you can hang it up. You ain't not getting nothing else in. And I know me and you have saw that before. where they give you that, they just look at you and they won't move like a mannequin. You can hang it up. And a lot of us I don't understand why we like that. But a lot of us is like that. And then a lot of us, okay, that's just like, if you look at Flavor Flav, and I'm going somewhere with that, because I'm going somewhere with this. But if you look at Flavor Flav, when he was doing that reality show, now he got on stage at the BET Awards, and this was before I was even like I am now. He got on the stage and he was singing James Brown's song, I'm black and I'm proud. A couple of years ago, I'm sitting up here and I'm looking at Vlad. He on there talking about, he knew he was an Indian and talking about where his, specifically his tribe and everything. And that's the, it's almost like, it's a contradiction. And this is why we don't get nowhere, because, okay, 1 minute you saying you black and you're proud, you black and you're proud. The next minute you saying you're an Indian. And when you have people like that in this movement, it's like it throws you off, and it you know, it's kind of like, can I trust these people? You have to, when you walk this walk, you cannot contradict yourself, because once you start contradicting yourself, then you're going to lose credibility. That's why you was able to be in this so long, because you stayed on course. A lot of people, when you don't do that and you get off course and you talking about something else, that's why with me, when I first got into this movement, I was saying I was black. I was calling myself an Aboriginal. I was doing it all because I didn't understand. So what I had to do is I had to look at what I was saying. And even now, black is so ingrained in me. Sometimes I'll still say it and then I have to correct myself because it's so ingrained in me. African American, I kind of like can catch myself with that, but that black word is still hard for me because we have done it all our life. Called ourselves black.
So that's one of the terms I wanted to talk about that you just brought up, Aboriginal. Now I know everybody have different, definitions or meaning or what somebody told you about Aboriginal, but to me it's simple. You just it's just a compound word, 2 words put together, ab and original. Ab means not of, away from. It got a pretty negative connotation to it. And original means just what it says. Xerox, a copy, original. First one there. Sprang from the land, original. How we use that term, especially when talking again ourselves, is like it's splitting ourselves in 2. Because the word just basically means not original. And you can tell that's what it means because, that term is used mainly in Australia, talking about those people.
Yeah. They're
not original. We are. See, when you look in the dictionary, when you first see the word America, they're talking about you. But as they're talking about you, they're changing you to them. We should see this. Many of us won't even take 5 minutes to go look up the original definition. America. America first published, the first definition. It talks about you. But you don't care. We don't even look it up. So when we don't do that, what do other people do? They take advantage of our negligence. Rebel, what do you say? You can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you.
You still can't hear me?
I can hear you now.
Hit it.
Somebody called me.
Okay.
So what you say?
I said your take on the word Aboriginal. Do you see how that can confuse people?
Yes,
because especially it just means, if you look at it right and how it's said, it means not original. Do you see how that can be confusing?
Yeah, because it's telling you that you're not from this land. You're from somewhere else. That's what it's telling you. And you're right. It says something about Australia, something biased with Australia. It's just telling you that you're not from America. And it's like a lot of people, they're not gonna, like, they get on, like, I have people that I talk to people on my page, but a lot of times the information I give them, they don't go back and they don't look it up. You have to, whatever we give you, you have to look up the information. You know, and a lot of times melanated people, we don't do that. You know, so. Carrie? Hold on, everybody. He'll be back. He'll be back. Just hold on. Yes. You okay? It went out again.
Can you hear now?
I can hear you now. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay. All right.
So
okay.
what were you saying?
I was saying that do disconnect us from the land, and a lot of people, when like Aboriginal, when if like, say for instance, if I say I'm an Aboriginal, people not gonna go. Most people not gonna go and look that up. They just gonna go with what I said.
Right.
Because it seems like if you say Aboriginal, it seems like that do say you from the land.
Right.
But it takes you away from the land because it's talking about Australians. You know, so it takes you away. Anything that they give us, it takes us away from the land. Anything, like the words that they give us, either it make us less than, or it detaches us from the land, because what they want is the land. You know, so.
I mean, and that's one of the easiest things to see. That's one of the easiest things to see. You see how you have to walk around here in America like you on eggshells, because somebody's trying to come over to your land and inoculate your children, and you don't have nothing to say about it.
No.
But you get mad when somebody brings up the truth. See, that's what gets me. We always mad about something that makes sense, but everything that's messed up, we go along with it. And to me, I'm seeing with that is we like being in the position we in. We like being in it.
I think with us, that's just okay. That's just like what's going on now. We're finding out we indigenous. With us, our problem is that we don't want to see the next melanated man get ahead. We don't mind the position we in. A lot of us don't care about us being in this position. They don't care, as long as it's not another person that looks like them. It's not that some people don't know the truth. We have a problem with elevating each other. We have a problem with that. So it's like they're not going to, like, it's people out here, everybody know who you are, but it's going to be some people that not support you because they don't want to see you elevated. It's people that will come up against you because they know that you're the backbone of this day and age. You're the backbone of it. So they'll try to come up against you to take that spot. You can never take that spot because it came from him. He's the one who enlightened a lot of us. But it's some people that would try to come and take your spot, and they think that this is something that right now you can't play any game with what's going on now.
You know what you just said reminded me of?
What?
So you're from Chicago, so you'll get this. I don't know the name of the freeway. It is in Chicago. But I don't know which way I don't know which direction you're traveling. But when you're on this freeway and you look to the right, you see something that says Malcolm X College.
I think that's the Dan Ryan.
Okay, I don't know the name of it.
Mm.
But can you imagine all the Muslims that see that every day who tried to dog this brother, and all this brother was doing was the right thing. All he was doing, what do those people tell? Tell the truth. Be honest. Be righteous. Do the right thing. And when
Mhm.
this brother did it, they killed him. This is what we do. This is what we're trying, and many of us still would do it today.
Yeah.
This is what you're talking about. This is the Negro. This is what we do. The cool part about all that is this. We're so dumb, we think that we die. You don't die. You just keep on reincarnating back into this stuff. Just like tomatoes grow every year, greens, you do the same thing. Hopefully you learn a little bit more than when you were here the last time. And with the level that we have going today, you can tell we're not learning nothing.
And,
We're
and
not
you
learning nothing.
and you know what? It's like, and another thing too. This school system have set us up just for. It's like that's just like nowadays. You got the younger generation against the older generation. They have got us so fixed on numbers. Growing to be 40, growing to be in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, that's an honor. It's an honor. And what we do is because they have pinned us against each other, the young against the old, the older generation. They think that we have something against them. We don't. That's a number. We all have to go this route. If you grow to get in your 40s, see, you have to go that route. But we try to make it seem as though we're different. No, this is we're living. I'm living life. I'm in my late 40s. I'm living life. This is my life. I was once in my 20s. I was once in my 30s. And people don't understand that this is life. And they try to put the young against the old, or the young against the middle age, or the old. And it's just a number. They have given us these numbers, instead of us just knowing that we live in, like, this is a journey that we on. And a lot of people don't look at it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Most people don't look at it that way. And that's what I mean. So, one of the things, so what I try to do, I try to learn about different things, what the people in the Southeast were doing, how they did things, how did they look at things, how did they learn, did they go to school, did they go to, did no, and what you come to find out is they learned everything from just watching everything, just learning from nature, just learning from the animals in nature, paying attention to the ants, see what they did, because they haven't been near extinction. All this life form around here, and the only thing that we're into is dogs. For real, cuz?
Yeah. Yeah. But we don't,
So go
it's
ahead,
more
Lee.
easy. It's more easier for us to ignore it than to face the problem. And we ignore it. We don't want to face the problem. And
But
and it's a serious problem because your ancestors is on their land. Your ancestors is up under their house, and 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 they know this. And they know this. And you have so many brothers and sisters out here, they so afraid to get out here and talk, because that television have made them feel as though they look at the television, and they, they do animation so they can make things look like they can really tear up some shit. So a lot of melanated people, they take that TV and they take that TV to heart like it's so real, and think that these people have all this power. If they had all this power, you would have been dead. Why you think they sitting up here tricking you to take a COVID shot? They have to trick you. It's and I'll say this, before I was who I am today, it's like they been knew who we were. They knew it. This is why they didn't want us to read a book. This is why they send you to that public school system. And the public school system is a joke. But they send you there because they never want you to learn. They never want you to gravitate and learn different things. So they have to keep you dumbed down. Because to know what I know, just imagine if more people woke up and they was like me and you, or people like Lisa and these other people out here, people like Callie. We can overturn this thing in one day if people would just wake up and see what's going on. And that's just like, okay, oh, go ahead.
Okay, but you have to remember and keep this in mind. Remember earlier you said we're on a journey.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's on the same journey. Like with me, like you say that I'm the spearhead behind this. It's been people taught me, so it's a constant thing. People taught them. We're teaching each other. We a lot of us see that this is not the way we're supposed to be living at all. When you talk to a lot of people, especially down here in the South, 100 years to live to be 100 years old is nothing.
Yes.
It's nothing. Seriously, if you live in how you're supposed to live, but once you started wanting to integrate and wanted to be like everybody else, your life expectancy damn near chopped in half. How many young indigenous people have died in the past 50 years over some dumb shit? See, we don't want to have that conversation because we'd all be embarrassed. And who did the killing? We don't want to talk about that. So all this stuff that we do, you can see why we don't go nowhere. So you can keep it up if you want to. I'm not. I'm going that way.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the other words or some of the other terms that we use, Rebel?
Another term is like, we all a lot of us, we came from the Christian background. And another term is like blessed. You take the B off, it's less. Everything everything we use on a daily, this is a word that most people that's Christians use daily, bless. So when you use that, when you take that B off, it's less. And we say this to each other, I'm blessed. And you're really saying you're less. Be less. That's just like we say live. If you turn it around, it spells evil. And this is stuff that we don't look at, like pray. You got the word like P-R-E-Y, and then you got P-R-A-Y. A pray is a person that's vulnerable. When you on your knees, you're vulnerable. So, this is what they give us. Like they make us out to be like we're nothing. Like they don't want us to fight back. So they'll tell you, oh, pray. But you're saying when you say that, you're a vulnerable person because you get on your knees and you pray to a God that never answers you. And you don't understand everything is within you. The manifestation is within you. And we don't understand this. Those are, and these are words we use every day.
What about when you say good morning?
Yeah, that's true. That you're morning, awake. That's like awake. You're dead. Everything they give us is almost like you're dead. You're less than. You ain't shit. Those are the words that they give us, and these are the main words that we learn either in the church or in school. And if we look behind, if we just look at the word and we break it down, that's just like when I was talking about parent. We give them our child to do what they want. They be with our child more than we be with our child. We send them to school. Then a lot of us, we're still Christians. And then we send them to church. And they be with our children more than we do, and we wonder why we can't get a grip on our children. Our children, it was never heard of a melanated children cussing out their mother, killing their mother. Now that's a norm in the melanated community, because it's like, first of all, we don't know how to breed. We allow anybody to jump on top of us. Some women out here, they didn't got to the point they're so desperate to have a child, they'll let anybody lay on them and give them a baby. You didn't check their family. You don't know if it's any slow motherfuckers running around in the corner somewhere. I ain't trying to be funny.
Yeah, you are, but you are.
Yeah, this is stuff that you have to check out, and we don't do that. And I'm not talking about retarded children, but I'm just saying this is stuff that you have to look at. This and we don't know how to breed. We think that because you see a person, first of all, they get us with the TV, and the man that we inspire to be with is somebody on TV. Don't know if he on his knees just like you or want the same thing you want, and we want a man just like that, and we never look at the inner qualities of a man. So we lay down with this man and we wonder why our kid is out here acting crazy. You don't, in your 20s, you don't have enough knowledge to lay down and have a child like that. Most of us don't, because I didn't. We have to, in the melanated community, we have to know how to breed. We have to know who to lay down with. We have to understand that we have to stay out these clinics, letting them mess with our private parts. Because that's what we do. Because it's like when we're younger, your parents take you right to Planned Parenthood, which Margaret Sanger, a eugenics, was I didn't think she invented it. She was just a front woman, like the front man. And you take your child there, and then when your child is ready to have a child in her 30s, she can't even produce because they didn't mess her up. That's why your legs is closed. Your legs is closed because you that's the way you're supposed to. I'm not saying don't have sex. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is keep all these medical people from between your legs. Learn how to take care of yourself.
Let me ask you something, Rebel. I was having this conversation with another sister, and she was telling me how on the East Coast, in a few towns on the East Coast, there are towns where there's brothers in their 40s and 50s that don't have no children. Now, when I was coming up, one of the biggest pushes, and this was Fauci too, and this whole medical thing, one of the things that was prevalent in the community is buy condoms, get condoms. It was a big push for condoms. And, what I heard a lot from a lot of brothers then was these things burn. And I also heard it from a few sisters too, saying that this isn't comfortable. Just like women are attacked, through the gynecology, the Planned Parenthood, and blah, blah, blah. Do you think that is also pushed on the brothers too with these condoms? Because what I know about spermicide is it's a killer. It kills anything it comes into contact with. Could that be a reason why a lot of these brothers don't have children that are in their 50s?
It could be. And sometimes it's the female they lay down with. Sometimes the female can't produce. And then sometimes they can't produce. And then sometimes it's just not meant for you to have any children. That's just what it is. But when it comes to that, somebody have told me the same thing what you just said. But my thing is, you have to look at it this way. They the ones who presented condoms to us.
Right.
They presented that to us. We never used a condom back in the day. And not
right.
to, I'll put myself out there a little bit. Even when I used them back in the day, I've been celibate most of my life. But even when I used them, I used to get yeast infections. One time it got so bad, I had to go to the hospital and get an antibiotic. Because so that they're not right.
Right.
It's not just think about it. Do the animals do it? They tell us to learn from the animals. Do the animals do it? But we're taught to put on a condom and to have sex with a condom on. That's not normal. It's not normal. But if you say that to a person that's not a conscious, they'll think that you crazy. But you're not supposed to use a condom. You're not supposed to. That's just like when AIDS first came out, I worked with those people. And if you go to another country and you get an AIDS, that's just like, okay, I can go, if my immune system is down, I can go get an AIDS test 1 week. Then the next week, go get an AIDS test when I build my immune system up, and it could come back negative. It could be positive 1 week, and then the next week, it could be negative. And they don't tell melanated people this. So you start on they put you on ACT, which is basically radiation. I believe that medicine is what kills those people. Because here's my thing. If AIDS was that powerful, and the way we sexualize in America, we all would have it. Me, you, we all be talking about, yep, I got it too. Yeah, I got it. We all be, because we all have it. Because nobody cares, especially this young generation. They don't care who they sleep with. They just sleep with somebody. They don't care who they procreate with. I have one child, Carrie. I could have had more children. I could have had it, but I refused. I stopped at that one child. And the reason why I stopped, because I've seen my aunties and them, and they would have 4 children by 4 different men, and the men ain't around. I seen this. And I'm the type of person, I learn from people. If I see you go through something, I'm going to learn from it. So I stopped having children. When people tell you, oh, we need to procreate, hold on. Okay, you can say that. But is the man going to be around to take care of this child? I refuse. And that's just like the court system. And you got child support. This court system turns the melanated woman. $1,000 right today is no money. Okay, you will get $500 from this man. I had a friend, I stopped talking to her. Me and her, we was tight. And every time this man would go get another job, what she'll do is she'll go back to the court system and try to get more money out of him, but she never worked. And I looked at her the way she was doing this man. And he had a wife and he had other children. And she would send her daughter to his house to see if he had a new job. That's when it comes to the melanated man and the melanated woman. That's what we have to work on. The court system should not be involved in me raising my child with another man. The court system should not be involved, but the court system is involved because you want to open up your legs just to say you got a child on your hips, and you'll allow anybody to get you pregnant. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. Just to put children out here, because look at all these demonic children out here. These children to kill their own parents now. That was unheard of back in the day. And I'm not saying ass whoopings don't got nothing to do with it, because it do. But these children is diabolical now. They don't know who they are. The women want to be the man in the woman. The woman want to sit up here and she want to be the man in the relationship. But then when y'all get out there and fight, you can't fight like that man. You can't run up on every man. I'm not saying a woman can't whoop a man, but you can't run up on every man. You just can't do it. But the female, and in every race, you see the man stand out and he the head. It's only in our race we belittle our men and we don't want them to be the head. At the end of the day, yeah, they come from our womb, but they are the head. That's why they have more strength than you. That's why they are the protector. That's the masculine energy. I'm sorry,
Oh no, you cool. As long as you're giving up jewels, keep at it. Because see what you're saying now, we don't hear that all the time. See, a lot of times we hear dumb stuff when we should be hearing stuff that we know the truth, and many of us don't even want to hear it. We don't, like I say, we don't care. So that's why here at African Americans, look, y'all, you see what's going on. You see what's going on in the world today. People are uprooting from their homes, bringing their mothers and fathers over here that's the same age as your grandmother and grandfather. And you don't see that as a problem? We don't see that as a problem. So just imagine if the people here were taking their parents, those civil rights people who were born during the civil rights movement, if you packed up your parents and took them over to India, what would the Indians think of you over there? Now, same thing, same scenario. The Indians picking up their mothers and father and bringing them over here to you. What are you saying about it? You need me to buy 3 pair of shoes? You will support what they're doing. 90% of African Americans will. Right or wrong. See, that's where people get pissed at, because I'm telling the truth, dude. Are you serious? I'm watching grown men who women are getting trafficked all over the world. They arguing with each other because they don't want to deal with what they have to deal with. I'm seeing guys who could be other guys' grandfather. They're arguing over dumb shit. You will not be on this planet long with that attitude. Are there any more? Are there any more terms we can
No,
get to?
I think that was, yeah. I think I got for today. I think I got them all out. The ones that I wanted to really get out. I think I got them all out.
Well, cool, because we're gonna do this again, because there's a lot of ideas and religion, the way we think. You guys remember this about 20 years ago? Something called The Secret. You remember that?
No, I
The
don't.
Secret. Oprah Winfrey. I mean, it was huge about 20 years ago, and none of that stuff went nowhere. And that's what I mean. When you believe in people you don't understand, you suffer. Stevie Wonder. So, Rebel, I want to say thank you for joining us. And if there's any last words you want to leave us with, please.
The only thing that I'm gonna say is that because they're trying to drain the swamp and they're trying to destroy us. Make sure you buy beans, like beans and rice and stuff that just in case. I understand that you see green pasture out there, but make sure you buy stuff like that just in case. It may be days where they want to try something, and you'll be ready. Be ready for whatever they have for you. Just prepare yourself so you don't be uncomfortable, because they're going to continue. They're trying to back us up in the corner so we can stop. They want us all to be zombies and they want us to stop. So just make sure you prepare yourself now. Don't wait to the last minute. Do it now.
So, thank you, Rebel, for that. So, this is what I want to leave you guys with. And remember this, because this right here is really important. Everybody has to remember that it's not your mother that gave birth to you, it's your grandmother. If we're going by the fact that when a woman's born, she's born with all the eggs she'll ever have. She got those eggs from her mother. So when those eggs are fertilized by a competent male, that's the life start. He's really pushed forward. The grandmother really pushes him forward. We have to start thinking like that if we're going to remain connected. Because your mother's just a portal that you come through. She comes from her mother, which the same thing happens to her. She was passed down by her grandmother. So when we're looking at life and how we get through in life, we have to look at the whole spectrum of life, because we're a part of all of it. So I just want to share that with you. When you're thinking about stuff and trying to figure out where you fit in, who is your grandmother? Where does she live? What does she eat? What does she do? What does she believe? What was her spiritual ideology? You have to find out that stuff, because you know it. Because she gave it to you when she planted it in your mama. So it ain't no excuse. I don't know. You know. Get up and find out. Time is ticking, y'all. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.